Okay, folks. I hope you're well this fine Monday. I say fine, it's not too bad here. I don't know how it is where you are. Hope the old winds have died down and you're feeling better. Couple of showbiz ones for you to start with today. One a bit more serious than the other. We'll start with the serious one. We'll go with the serious one. I see this morning, I missed him. I flicked through things, but I read about it earlier. Old John Stapleton. You might know old John. I like John. 78-year-old John. I always thought he was older myself. Thought he was older. As disclosed today, his son has, that he's got Parkinson's, John has. Very, very sad. I thought he was older than that was John. He's been on our screens for many a year. Ex-partner of, is it Lynn Wood? I think that was her maiden name. I think she kept that when she married old John there. She died 5 or 6 years ago now, age 72 I think it was. And his son was saying today that turns out John's got Parkinson's. And I was very shocked because I didn't realise the son was who it actually is. He's a guy that does a lot on Watchdog and some of these BBC programmes in the morning looking at catching fraudsters. Pretty good at what he does. I'm not surprised, being he's the son of John Stapleton. I like him. I think he's really, really good. I know also I've read in the press only about in the last hour or so, Paul Di'Anno. I always called him Paul Di'Anno. I don't know where I got Di'Anno from. Paul Di'Anno, ex-singer with Iron Maiden. He sadly passed in this last 24 hours or so. I think he lived in Salisbury. I didn't realise that. I'll tell you what I didn't realise. Well, I've wrote it down because I didn't know this at all. I just assumed he was Italian and heritage. What's his real name? Paul Andrews. Simple Paul Andrews. Changed his name to Paul Di'Anno to perform as a singer in Iron Maiden. I never knew that. Paul was with the band from 78 till 81. They released the first 2 LPs. One of them called Iron Maiden. Second one called Killers. They were both actual killers. They were cracking LPs. I was always a lover of Di'Anno. I much preferred him to Bruce Dickinson, although they've had more success with Dickinson. But I tend to like originals. I'm just weird, me. And what else was there? There was nothing. I'll tell you what, I've got a bit of a recommendation for you after all that bad news. Don't know if you've seen it, folks. I don't know if you've had a chance to. Has any of you watched that? Mr. Loverman. Oh, Mr. Loverman. Have you watched it on BBC? I started watching the first couple, I think it was last night or the night before. I think it started a week or so ago now. I'm actually downloading them to watch them. There's another couple to go with old Lenny James. It's an half an hour thing. If you've not watched it, give it a go. Some of you might not like it, especially some older folk that don't like these. I was going to say I use a term then I shouldn't use, so I'm not going to use it. Gay love, let's go with that. Gay love, men and men, women and women, all that. Some people are into that. I know mother-in-law don't like anything like that. When they come on screens and women are kissing women and fellas kissing fellas and even more than that, oh, it's a no from her. She's not keen at all. Don't bother me. If the subject matter, as long as it's good, as long as it's interesting, as long as it's well acted, I'm happy. Well, anything with Lenny James in is going to be well acted. He's possibly my favourite on screen along with old Stephen Graham. So I've loved it. If you've not watched it, give it a go. It's a cracking show, honestly. Mr. Loverman, BBC, half an hour episodes. Spot on. Really, really good. It's nice to get a good bit of British TV out there. So, yeah, sad news about your man, old John, old Mr. Stapleton. Sadder news, obviously, about Paul Di'Anno. Obviously, no longer with us. His health's been bad for many a year now. He's not been well for a long time. I think he's abused himself with the old rock and roll lifestyle. But on a lighter note, Mr. Loverman, it's good. You've heard it here first. Don't forget. Now, don't forget. I told you. Nobody else. Me.